Welcome to this series of videos all about tools. I'm going to take you through a whole bunch of different tools that you as an electrician are going to use and are going to need in your trade. In this video, we're going to look at the most important tool for you to use as an electrician. The pliers. These are called linesman's pliers. They have certain features about them which are specifically designed for electricians. The first thing that you will notice about these pliers, as opposed to seeing other pliers, is the shape of the jaw. The jaw has a flat section, a rounded section, and a cutting edge. When you close the pliers, you will notice there will be a slight gap between the two jaws at the front, but no gap on the cutting edge. And that's because as electricians, the cutting edge for us is most important. Other pliers will do it slightly differently. They're designed for the jaws at the front to close all the way. But we don't want that. We need this cutting edge to work because this is how we cut our cable and strip our cable. It also has a rounded section for us to grab hold of things like bolts, rods, etc., so that we can bend and manipulate steel products. Now these particular pliers also have on the back, they have a crimping section, which means we can put some lugs in there, squash it down, and that way we can then crimp lugs onto our cables. Now a lot of places will not accept this crimping solution. We have specific crimping tools to do that job, but if you're just doing a small maintenance task on something that's not going to be vibrating a lot, then this will do the job. Also, these pliers are 1000 volts DC rated. The insulation on here means that if you hold on to this and you hold on to a live cable up to 1000 volts DC, you will be safe. Ideally, you won't be doing that, but if you had to, you could. The thing I like about this particular brand of pliers, and these are the channel locks, is the hand grips. They have this bulging section here, and this is designed to stop your hands from slipping and touching the exposed metal section of the pliers, especially if you're working on live equipment. You really don't want that to happen. The other thing I like about these is the handle themselves are made from a hard rubbery material. So when you're out there working and it's hot, sweating, your hands are less likely to slip, where some other brands don't have that. They're made of a real hard plastic and your hands can slip around a fair bit. So one of the reasons why I like this particular brand, choosing a brand of pliers really is almost a personal choice depending on what you like. Each brand offers something slightly different. But for my money, these are the best pliers you can buy. Okay, let's have a look at the other type of pliers. This is an engineering plier. You'll notice the difference here is, again, the jaw. In this case, the jaw closes right down at the front. There is no rounded section like we had with these ones. So the emphasis isn't so much on the cutting blade. It will still cut, but not very well. The emphasis is on the jaw itself and actually holding onto things. These are the sorts of pliers that you'd find metal workers, fitters and turners, mechanics, everyone who's not an electrician really, would probably use these pliers. They also have a grip section underneath the back here. It's not for lugs, it's just for holding on to things again as well. So a handy tool to have. You probably find that as an electrician you would very, very rarely use an engineering set of pliers, but you know, it's good to have them anyway. Okay, the next plier we have is this one. This is the long nose plier, sometimes called a needle nosed plier, and we use these quite a lot, especially to get into small places if we need to get some small lugs on or nuts and bolts. Very, very handy tool to have. A lot of times we might have some cable in the wall that we're trying to fish out and it's hard to get hold of. We would use these, put through the small hole and grab hold of the cable and pull them through. It does have a cutting edge on it. You'll probably never use that cutting edge. we are using these tools because of the long, thin jaw. I should also note at this point that both of these tools are not 1,000 volts rated. If it is not written on the tool, then there is no safety rating at all. So keep that in mind. Only trust tools that have got the safety rating written on them. Lastly, I have these. These are called side cutters, at least that's what they're called in Australia. In America, they usually like to call them wire cutters. They do the same job. They will cut through wire, cable. It's essentially the cutting edge that is on your pliers. So you can strip cable with them, you can cut cable with them. You probably won't use them that often to do that because your pliers can do it anyway. What you would more likely use this for is if you have to nick into things with the pointed end of the cutting jaw, which you can't do with your pliers. Again, you can see these ones are not 1,000 volts rated. All of these tools you can buy in a 1,000 volt rating. So if you wish to, you can go ahead and do that. But generally, these are the tools you wouldn't use on live equipment anyway. The only tool you might use on live equipment would be these pliers here. So that's it for the pliers. I'll see you next time.